Alright, in this tutorial I'm going to show you kind of the basics of how to create your maze game. Okay, we're going to build this within PowerPoint. So I can go to PowerPoint here. If you don't have it on your desktop, you can go into All Programs. You can see mine's there too. All Programs, and it's in Office 2013. So once we come in, I'm going to highlight these and hit delete and take them out. And I'm just going to duplicate slide and duplicate slide and duplicate slide again. Okay, I'm just gonna insert here, and I'm gonna make this my start page, and it doesn't need to be pretty to start. Okay, so I'm gonna have my start page here, and I'm gonna go to insert, and I'm gonna put in a shape, just a rectangle, and I'm gonna put game over within here. And again, this doesn't have to be pretty too. We're almost just putting in some different shapes in order to let us know what these pages are. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm actually just going to duplicate this one too, and I'm going to change fill color. So we'll do game over in red. Okay, so we got game over, got two game overs, so we'll leave this one as game over, and we'll do this one as you win. Okay, so that's kind of what we need just to start. Again, you're going to be changing these quite a bit. Okay, so at least I know what I've got. We're going to start making, and again, it doesn't really matter what order these are in. I can move them around, and this turns to you can rearrange them just by clicking and dragging. So it doesn't matter because we're going to be hyperlinking, to and all these different slides over here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to Insert, and I'm going to put in a shape. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep it, blue. I think I might fill it black. Okay. And what we can do is we can make copies of this, but before we do, I'm going to actually go to my Home tab. Excuse me, not my Home tab. I'm going to go to my Insert tab, and I'm going to go to Action, and I'm going to go to Mouse Over. Okay, so what we're going to do with mouse over, which means that when I put my mouse over this when I'm playing it, we're going to actually hyperlink. So I'm going to click hyperlink, and on next slide I'm going to go to slide, 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 and you saw that I want to do that again. So it'll say hyperlink to, and instead of next slide, we don't want it to go to next slide. So I'm going to go slide period, period, period. And then I'm going to choose, just by clicking here, it allows me to choose which slide I want to go to. So I click OK, and so that's hyperlink now. Now the cool thing about that is I can make copies of this, and then I'm going to just go Control V, and I can put one over here, and Control V again, and I'm going to rotate it down. And I'm going to stretch it out. I'm going to copy this one too, just make it easier, and then Control V, Control V, and I can move it up. Okay, so there's kind of the first part of a maze, which makes it pretty nice. Okay, so from here I can just put in, what I want for my maze. So again, it's totally up to you what you want to do here. Okay, so if I want to rotate this, okay, so let's say I put that there. Paste again, so you can kind of dictate, how this game's going to work. And maybe here, I'm going to rotate, shrink that up a little bit, grab it here and rotate it. What I should have done, which I'm looking at it now, is I want to make these line colors, and I made a mistake here. So I want to make these line colors. I'm going to switch them out real quick to black, just so everything blends in. So apologize for that. So outline black. It'll just make things seem to flow all together. That's in black. And so you won't be able to see any type of outline there. So again, I want to make sure that these are, looks like one shape right there, and then I'm just going to copy, and I'm going to Control V here. So you can kind of start putting them in. There's your maze. Okay, coming along. Now again, this is just kind of the start. Okay, so we kind of have just, our maze basically created. Okay, nothing special about it. I'm gonna insert kind of, another shape, just another rectangle, and maybe I want this here to be my end spot. Okay, I'm gonna make this yellow. Okay, and change that to a black outline or a yellow outline. Fill. Okay, so here's what we got. So on our start page, what I found, the easiest thing that I found is I'm going to insert a shape here. This won't make sense right off the bat, but I'm going to insert a shape here. Okay, and then I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it on right here. Now the reason I'm doing that is because if I don't do that and you just have your start being anywhere, you could have your basically when it gets hyperlinked into here, if you have it hyperlinked here, it's automatically going to say, hey, you lost here. So this way, when I put this in, this is exactly, so I put it in and I copy it and then I paste it in here. You see that it pastes it in the exact spot that it was here. Okay, so now I'm going to just do, I'm going to go to Insert, I'm going to go to Shape again, and let me see, I can just put, box in here. You know what I did? I'm not going to do a box. On my other one, I did a, let me see if I can find it. I did an arrow. So any one of these arrows, I'm going to do this arrow. And within it, we can just do click here to start. Click here to start. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to insert another one. And I'm going to do click here for directions. Okay? And then I'm just going to copy this. This one doesn't matter too much. Okay? Because we're going to have a directions page too. So what I can put here is our directions. Okay. So we got our start page here. So what we want to do is we want, basically your game player to come in and click here to go to your first maze. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to click on the shape, and I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to go to Hyperlink, and I'm going to go to Place in this document, which shows all my slides. So if I go down to slide 4, you can see that it shows that we're going to go in right here. Kablam. And what I'm going to do is, I don't even need this here, so I'm going to get rid of it now. Okay. So if I try this now, I'm going to go to slideshow, and I'm going to go from current slide, and my cursor comes down. So when I click, it brings me in right within, right exactly where I want it. Now if I, if I move up, and I'm not sure why my mouse has done that. That's kind of weird. Because I've done that before and my mouse seemed to disappear. Oh, you know what we need to do is I need to make sure that when I go to slideshow, I'm going to go set up slideshow, and I'm going to do browse at kiosk full screen. Okay. Show slides, advanced slides, slideshow monitor. Good. Laser pointer. I think we're good. Okay. And then secondly, what I want to do is I'm going to click on all of these. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to go down to my last one. I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm going to click, and that selects all of them. And I'm going to go up to transitions, and I'm going to transition. I'm going to take that off of mouse click. Now you can do that one at a time, but by selecting all of them, now you force your basically your player to click on your hyperlink. So I'm going to go from beginning again, and you can see my cursor's here, so that's why you need to change it to edit kiosk. So I click here, it brings it right in. You can see I go through. Oops, I accidentally hit it. Oh, my game is over. Okay, so you see it, you know, that part of it works correctly right now. It's exactly what I want to do. Once we get to our game over, I'm going to basically click here. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to, again, I'm just going to copy this. Oh no, I'm going to go to insert again, and you can put something else in. So maybe I go here, and you can go, oops, sorry, there's my shape, good. And I'm going to click here to go to the start menu. Okay, so when I click here, now nothing's going to work because I need to hyperlink it. So I'm going to click on this, right click, and I'm going to go to hyperlink, and I'm going to hyperlink it back to slide number 1. Okay, so now when I get in here, I can actually click here and it'll hyperlink it back. Okay, you win. I'm going to do the same thing because I want to. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to actually put it in this. So if we have, you know, a winner, okay, I still want to go back to the start menu, and then we can also put in insert again. I'll put in a different shape this time. And you can press click here to end game. Okay. And I'll show you how to end the game later. Okay. So we've got our game over, got our hyperlink. What we want to do is, why don't we hyperlink here? So again, this is kind of where we're trying to get to. So again, I right click, go to hyperlink, and we're going to go to slide 3, which is our you win. Excuse me, slide 2, which is our you win. And so let's give it a try. So from beginning, click here to start. We go through, see if I can play my own game. Okay, pretty easy. I click here. Hey, congratulations. I click here. It goes back to my start page. Now I have a directions page, so why don't we just pull this? We can just pull this up here, and why don't we insert a text box? And this is where I'll just put, this is where you are going to write your directions for the game. Okay. Think about these things. What is the object of your game? Are there any items that have to be clicked on? Okay, so this is where you're going to write your directions. It's pretty important. So when we go back here, I'm going to hyperlink this, right click, hyperlink, and again, slide 2 right now is our hyperlinks page. Okay, so that basically gives us kind of a nice, I mean, looking at this, nice and boring, nothing spectacular. Within here, here's some things I want you to think about. In, you know, the world's hardest game that you played, there were a lot of moving objects. Well, the cool thing about this is we can create those moving objects. And there was one thing here that I want to change before I forget. I thought within this that our shape outline should have been in black. Shape fill. I think that's fine now. Is there a bunch of moving objects? Okay, so what I want to show you is how to put those in. So if we put in a shape, and let's just say that it is a rectangle. And let's say we put that in. Actually, I'm not going to put a shape. I'm gonna choose a different shape. So let's say I do a line. Not even a line. I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to take one of these, because what you can do is kind of the exact same thing. So if you put in a shape, it's the same thing as what I'm going to show you here. I'm just going to make a copy of this, and I'm going to paste it. Okay, and I'm going to turn it. And now I'm going to animate it. Okay, because I want to make this move back and forth here. Okay, so under animations, now there's not something that will just give you that. So if you click, well, what I want to do is I'm going to go to more motion paths. So within more motion paths, you just have to look through these. There's a ton of them in here. I basically want it to move to the left. So I believe there is one in here called left. Okay, so when I do that, you see that it's going to move to the left. I like that one, but I'm going to extend it out. I want it to move all the way right here. Okay. And what I want you to open up, and this is kind of the big thing, what I want you to open up is the animation pane. Okay, this shows your animations here, because because right now it's just going to go and it's going to stop. Okay, if you watch this, and it won't go until I click on it. So I'm going to change it to start with previous, which means when I get in here, it's going to move. So if you watch this, you'll see what it does. It's going to stop. And you'll see that it started me up high. I don't want to be started up high because it's going to take me, oops, to game over. Okay, I'm going to press escape to get out of here. So I'm going to go back to that slide. And you'll see my animation set. But if I come up here and I right click on this and I go to effect options, it allows me to change the effect on here. And the first thing you want to do is do auto reverse. So what it will do is it will go there and it'll come back. Well, I want it to go the entire time that this person's in my maze. So if you click on timing, it says repeat. It says none. It's not going to repeat, but I'm going to change it until the end of the slide. So what it's going to do is it's going to continue to go back and forth until the end of the slide. Okay, so you'll see it'll move back and forth until we're out of the slide. And again, if they get touched by this, okay, what's going to happen is it's going to be game over. Okay, so if you see this, I'm going to go slideshow and from beginning again. I'm going to click here. I'm going to go. You see that, hey, take a look, it's going. So it adds a little element to this. Oh, dang it, I can't even play my first level. Try that again. Because I want to show that when you get hit by this, it's the same thing as running into the wall. Okay, which makes it a lot more challenging. Now you might keep your very first one pretty easy, and that's what I've done. So you might just keep one of them in there. I'm going to show you one that I also have set up. And so what I've done, here's the difference between what I just showed you and this, which is more of a finished product. But all I did, to put this background in is I went to design. And I found a background design, and I found one that I liked. Now, I didn't want it to do it on every single one, so I liked, it was this one. And I right-clicked on it, and I just do Applied to Selected Slide, which is the only slide that I have selected, which is this one. So it just applied it to there. So let's say I wanted to change it, and I like this one. And let's say I want to do that one. So I just do Apply to Selected Slides, and it just changes this one. All the other ones stay the same. Okay, so when I go up to slideshow, I'm not going to show you that. So here's my directions. The directions are pretty simple. Go from the starting position to the ending position without touching the walls or any moving objects. To return to start screen, and I hyperlinked right here. Okay, you can see that I have put in here, I've put in some keys. Now these keys do specific things. This one in particular, you'll see opens up this little trapdoor here. And what I did is I found a key online and I just inserted it in. Okay, and you can add animations to these, and I'll show you kind of what I did. So I have a first level and I have a second level, and I'll show you what those are. I'm sorry, but you lost. So I found this online and I just copied it, pasted it in, and made it the size of the slide. and again I have a hyperlink, and this goes to restart level 1. This is the exact same thing. So I just right clicked on this and I duplicated, and on this one, this is where if you lost here, you would get hyperlinked to this one, because you'd click here to go to restart level 2. Because I don't want to send them all the way back to the first one. Nobody wants to have to replay that same level over again. Okay, I put in another one that says the next level, and I said click here to, the green circle to go to the next level. And again, I found this online, just copied and pasted it in, and then you win. I have return to start screen and level select. And here's what my level select was, is I created these. So basically I did screenshots. So I hit print screen. So I went up to this, screen, and I hit print screen. And what I did is I came down here, right click, and pasted it in, and then I just shrunk it all the way down. So now it gives you, once somebody finishes your game, they can actually go in and choose the level that they want to play on. And this is extra credit. If you want to do this, I think this is a real cool feature. It's what all the games that you play kind of have. But it's something, you'll get extra credit if you do that. So let's go through, and I want to show you a couple things, especially here. So I'm going to go in from current slide. Now again, it puts me up here, so I'm going to have to hyperlink back. I put in a sound. Now unfortunately the sound will only play once, but once I hyperlink in, so I'm going to go, you can see there's a wall here. Oops, I'm in trouble, I can't get through. Well, when I click here, you see that disappears, and I have another key that opened up. So what I did is I just shrunk this area down right here, okay, and then I inserted another rectangle over the top of this picture. So when I click here, see it disappears and this opens up, okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to go restart again. Can't even play my own game. And I'm going to go up. There's another key that I'm going to click on. But unfortunately, when I click on it, it starts another line, which will end my game. So I need to be careful on that. So I'm going to go up this line. I'm going to be careful not to end my game. So what I did is, I'll show you what I did here in a second. I'm going to click here, which opens up that little door. And I'm going to wait. I'm going to be careful. Coming down. And this is going to say, hey, next level. Click here to go to the circle. So I click here, and this starts my next level. Okay? So I have this rotating in 2 different directions. I'm going to see if I can pass my own level. Oops. No, it's not. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to see if I can pass my own level. Oh, I am having issues right here. I've got to be a little bit more patient. I'm trying to get through here as fast as possible. Let me see. There we go. So you think you're done, but you click and you have to go back to actually finish. So I'm going to wait for this to come. And when I finish, voila, you won. I can go to level select, and you see that it'll get me back to this level. So I want to show you a couple things here. Okay, first off is I'm going to go to my animations, and it shows all the different animations that I have here. So you can see that right here I have this already covered up, and what I did is I added an animation in. So I clicked here, I went up to animations, I went to more motion paths, and this one I wanted to go to the right. So I came down and it went to the right. But here's kind of the cool thing. I clicked on this and I only want this to work, and this is why you have to have your animation pane open. So I want this to work when this gets clicked. So what you have to do is you have to click here, open up your animation pane, and it shows that this is my rectangle 34. Okay, it's going to, and it shows right underneath that this is a trigger. So it's only going to move when I click on picture 11. Okay, so I click here, I go up to animation, and I believe I did, if I click here, I did dissolve out. So I went to, let me see, excuse me, it wasn't that. So it was this one. This one's going to move right. So you can see move right on click. So my trigger was on click of, so that's what you do. So if I want this to move, to open up this, you have trigger and it says on click of, and I knew this was picture 11. Okay, so I had picture 11. So when picture 11 gets clicked, this moves here, which opens up this. So what happens here is this is rectangle 19. The trigger on this, on click of, and it was picture 12. Okay, so when this gets clicked, this dissolves. Okay, I also had this dissolve out. So it's going to, so I wanted this to disappear. So as I clicked on it, I wanted it to disappear. So when I clicked here on this one, I went up and I added a dissolve. So it was on exit. Let me see, sorry. It was on exit and it was dissolve out. And it shows up here, and I had to change this because it started on click, but we wanted it with previous, which means when I click on this, the next step that it's going to do is it's going to dissolve it out. Okay. I have hidden here, you don't even see it, this line. So you see this one here, it goes basically up and down on the click of this. Okay, so click here, and my trigger was on picture 17, which was here. So that's kind of the thing that takes some time, is if you want to do some cool things like this, I mean, that adds a different element in when you're having to click here and having to have them go back and then click here and then this dissolves out, and when I click here, this starts this line going up and down. Okay, so for this line here, I also had to have it. You can see that it goes up to here, stops. So I also had to go to Effect Options, Auto Reverse, and then you can also let me see, duration. So I had to go very slow. I mean, if you had to go very fast, it would go up and down super fast, which would make your game kind of too hard to do. You want to keep it impossible. So I had this hidden underneath. You didn't even know it was there. You thought you had to click here to open something else up, when in actuality you didn't. Kind of the same thing here. I just had these arrows, and it was just move to the left. And what I did is, again, you right-click on it, and go to Effect Options, and again, Auto Reverse. You can extend these out. I didn't have this one show up until this one was clicked. So you can see here that my trigger was on click of rectangle 17. So it actually appeared. You can see that I did the appear. So this was animation appear, and then afterwards I went up to trigger on click of and did it rectangle 27. So again, you can trick your game player into thinking, hey, I'm done, when in actuality now they need to get back over there in order to complete the game. Okay, so let me see. I think for the most part that's going to get you enough information to actually get you started. Here, this is again just a picture that I got online and pasted it on here. Okay, so I think that's enough to get you started, and we'll do some in-class work to make sure and fine-tune any of your problems and your final product.